do it for at least 20 to 21 days before it becomes a part of your life. So it's going to be hard, just like a diet. The first month or the first couple of weeks is going to be toughest on you because you got to get adjusted to that new system of you trying to change to help yourself. Same thing with budgeting. It ain't going to be easy. It wasn't easy for me when I first started. When I started saying I'm going to take this bill, I'm going to put $25 per week on it. It wasn't easy, but I made up my mind. I said, this is what we're going to do. I did the debt snowball plan, and it worked. It worked. It wasn't easy, but then when I paid all those bills, boy, I was so glad. Now when I cleared all my credit card bills, they paid. Shoot, please, you can't tell me nothing now. All right, same thing. All right. It's not going to run smoothly the first month or two, but once you get used to it and you create that momentum after you pay off one or two of those bills, and you have created momentum, you'll see it'll get easier on you. But it usually takes a few months to get a good feel on where your money is going. Give it a little time, and you got to be patient. All right, don't give up. It will work for you, but you got to be accountable and be willing to work it through the process. All right. Write down your total income. I just told you that. Get you a book. Get one of those hard black composition books. Remember those? I remember those coming up in the 60s and 70s. I got one in my bag right now. I use it. Get one of those. Put your monthly budget. List down every single thing in your budget that you pay out. Create the total plus your total income and how much is left over. Now you got a leftover. What are you going to do? You got to assign it to do something. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right. List all your expenses. We said that. All right. So you're going. This is zero-based budgeting. Zero-based budgeting. We talking about getting on the budget. You got to write down your total monthly income, including everything. All right. 2, list all your expenses. Do your income, how much you bring it home. It could be a part-time job. It could be 2 part-time jobs, your full-time job. What is your total net income bring home? And then what are your total expenses? List them down. List all of them down. Then subtract your expenses from your income to equal 0. Here it is. You're going to say, well, Brother Tyrone, but mine don't equal 0. Okay, let me explain to you. Of course it doesn't. That's the common sense way of thinking. Yeah, it doesn't. But we talked about we have to assign the money somewhere to go. All right, here we go. This is called a zero-based budget, meaning your income minus your expenses should equal 0. If you're over or under, check your math or simply return to the previous step and try again. Let's look at it. Track your expenses through the month. Once you start the budget, you'll still need to stay on top of your expenses. You do, because you gotta watch what you spend. You have to. All right. Now I know you gotta buy groceries for the home. You gotta buy gas for your car. You gotta pay your insurance. You gotta pay. You got maintenance on your car. Those things, those are gonna come here and there. You have to have money allotted for that or off to the side in the bank to take care of those expenses because they're gonna happen sooner or later. All right. You got to have that on the side. All right. So the good news is that every dollar makes tracking your expenses and budgeting for them extremely easy. Now, let's go to the goal. Your goal is to get to 0. Your goal is to get to 0 in your monthly expenses. Now, I'm not saying that you have no money for yourself. No, you have to have some money in your pocket for something. Or usually, I'm gonna tell you at one time, and I still do this. What I've started doing it lately, probably over the last 4 to 5 months, I keep a few dollars in my pocket, but everything else on my credit card. If I need an expense or something, I use that credit card because there's money there, and it's allowed for that. For my food each month, I use that, and I can track that because that's part of my expenses. You know, I know what I spend each month, and usually I don't go over that. Usually it's below it. Okay, so I know what I allot for. I usually shoot high, and usually I fall somewhere in between. You see what I'm saying? So I'm good. So that's how you gotta do. You have to build in those cushions in the budget just in case something happens. You have that cushion. Don't shoot high. Don't shoot low and you going high. Shoot high and anything that falls under that, then you good. You know you got some cushion there. All right. All right. The point of a zero-based budget is to make income minus the outgo equals 0. All right. That That means your incoming income, all right, and then your outgoing expense, whatever you're gonna pay for your expense that's going out, all right. If you cover all your expenses during the month and have $500 left over, say for example, you got $500 left over, you aren't done with the budget yet. You're not done because you got some money left over. What are you gonna do with it? It has to be assigned to something. You must tell the $500 where it's going, whether it's going into savings, whether it's going into investments, whether it's if your child is in college, or it's going into their tuition for their school, or it may be going into an emergency fund. See, you have to assign every single dollar. Do you understand about zero-based budgeting? Do you understand what I'm saying here? If you don't, you lose the chance to make it work for you in the areas of getting out of debt. Now, if like I did, if I had an extra $100, see, that's why I put $25 each week into that budget. You see? So I knew I had that extra money. So I said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that money and I'm going to pay off my debt. So that's what you need to do with that extra. Say if you got an extra $200 a month left over, not counting your expenses and not counting maybe to $100 in your pocket for emergency money or whatever you may need to go through the week or something for the kids. You got that little extra money. Now count that. We count anything above that. If there's $200 or $300, then that money, if you're still paying off your credit cards, take that extra $200 and put towards the lease bill. All right. Say for instance that bill is $1,000. Let's say, for example, it's $1,000, and you have been paying, let's say you've been paying $50 a month on that bill, all right? You're paying $50 a month. So what you need to do, take that $200, which is extra, and assign it to that bill on that lease pay. So what you're doing now, each week, if it's every week now, I'm just saying, it depends on what, if it's every month, take the $200 plus the $50 that you're already paying and pay on that bill. And pay it off quicker. You understand what I'm saying? That's zero-based budgeting. So all your money has been accounted for. You see what I'm saying? That's how you get out of debt. That's how I got out of debt. And I didn't even know it was called zero-based budgeting at that time. I didn't even know that. That's how you do it. Zero-based budgeting. All right. 5 money gotchas. How can money get you? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Zero-based budgeting. You have to assign the money where you want it to go. Number 1, get out of debt. Number 2, live beneath your means. Number 3, create a budget. And within that budget, we need to have a goal of a zero-based budget at the end. Everything should come to zero. All right. 5 money gotchas. And as you probably figure, if you're spending more than you make each month, you have to start cutting stuff out. That's right, because you don't have the money to pay for it. Use coupons, sell items that you don't need. Have yard sales. Those are very popular nowadays. Having yard sales. All right. Have payments on and stop going out to eat so much. Well, I tell you, I very rarely go out to eat. Very rarely. I may take my grandson out, like on a Tuesday, we usually hang out. I may go to a restaurant with him once a week, but everything else, I buy a $1 meal or whatever, from the store, like the little Michelin meals. I buy me some lettuce or something like that. I put in the refrigerator and I eat off of that. There you go. Saving money. Saving money to take that, to make that, to come down to that zero-based budget, take and assign that money to someplace else so that way you can get yourself out of debt much quicker. All right? All right, eating out is one of the gotchas. Eating out can cost you a fortune. Food is not cheap, especially going to a restaurant. Now, I'm not saying that it's not all right to go out to eat sometime with your family or whatever and have a nice day. It's all right every now and then, but don't make it a habit because it'll burn a hole in your pocket and you will never really have no money to save because you're always eating out. That's number 1, all right? Number 2, let's see, where are we at? I'm sorry. Number 2, car payment. You can buy a quality car for $2,000. It will get you around town just fine, and you won't miss the $500 car note payment on another car. You see what I'm saying? So go. What did I say? Go high, but fall in between. Don't reach for the high, but go in the middle. Why spend $20,000 or $40,000 on a car if you can go and get your car for $3,000 or $4,000 or $7,000, $8,000? It can do the same good. Bite your lip, keep on moving, and let the money that you invest later on, maybe 5 years down the road, if that money that you have invested has paid off, and you want a nicer car, take the interest that you made off that money and go pay for that car that you really want in cash. You see what I'm saying? The money that you have worked for has worked for you. Now you can go out and buy something nice and you ain't got no bill over your head. You ain't have no debt. You get it? All right. All right. Groceries. Groceries can get expensive, but that's why you use coupons. Look around. You ain't always got to buy the name brand thing. You ain't got to be the name brand. You can get off items. Walmart has a lot of unnamed, they got store products that just as good as anything else. I'm not saying that you can't buy name brand every once in a while, but sometimes you can buy products that are not name brand. It's just as good. All right? Utilities. If you don't cut off the lights when you're out of the room, if you're not in the room, you got the TV on, you got the television, you in one room, and in another room got the TV on, got the lights on, turn it off. Save some of that electricity that you're burning up. All right? And then lastly, clothing. Some of the clothes that we got, we don't even need them. Right or wrong. We keep buying because we want to change with the style. I did it myself. All right? All right. Now, what do we do? We went the three, what did we do? We did 3 things here. What did we talk about? We talked about get out of debt. All right. Get out of debt, act your wage, and get on a budget. And then come down to the bottom part, create a zero budget. All right. And then lastly, we got a few more things, and then we get ready to close this out. Boy, this has been some good stuff today. This has been very good. Cash flowing emergencies. Emergencies are going to come up in your life, and you're not going to be able to prevent them. They're going to come, so you better be prepared. And what I have learned from Dave Ramsey and Susie Altman, you need to have an emergency fund. You need to have $1,000. Once you pay off your debt, don't put the $1,000 in there. Now, clear your debt off. Once you clear your debt off, save up and have $1,000 in emergency fund, because you're going to need it, because something may happen that you need that money. $1,000 in your emergency fund. All right? Because something will happen, and you best believe you better be ready. All right? Have an emergency fund, emergency cash flow for an emergency. And then if something happens, you got to take $300 or $400 out of it, or $500. Maybe the car breaks down. It happens. Maybe the refrigerator breaks down. Maybe the stove breaks down. I've been down that road. You got $300, $400, $500, $600. Use that money, emergency fund. Go pay for it in cash. Then build that money back up to that $1,000. Or you can take, if it's a 30, 60, 90 days, same as cash. All right, take maybe $300 out of that, or $200 out of that. All right, put it towards it, and then each month, if you want to pay $30 or $40 on it, do it that way. You can go either way. I'd rather, if I have $1,000 in emergency cash, which is I'll take $400 or $500, go ahead and buy it, and then I'll rebuild that $1,000 back over the next month or so, and I got my emergency cash back again. All right, that's how you work the program. Practice makes perfect. This is not going to be an easy thing. You have to train yourself. You have to be accountable. All right, you got to be accountable for it. All right. Use the envelope system. What is the envelope system, Brother Tyrone? To tend to bust your budget. If you can't be accountable the way I showed you how to do it, by making a list of your expenses, and your income, and being accountable, and making a zero budget, and assigning that money, that extra money, assign it to go somewhere, then you need to make an envelope system. And what does that mean? For each thing that you spend money on, say for instance, groceries, restaurants, entertainment, gasoline, clothing, whatever it may be. If you know you do this every month, take that money, say for instance, per month, you spend $300 on these items. Take that, when you get your cash, when you get your check, take $300, put it in the envelope and seal it for the month. And that's the money you use to pay it off. That's called the envelope system. Don't use it on anything else, because that's what you're going to need for these things. That way, that helps you control, that makes yourself more accountable. We call this the envelope system. If you cannot do it the other way, like I showed you how to do it, then you can do the envelope system. All right? You can do the envelope system. Now, once you've done that and you see that you're achieving your goals and you have got down almost to your last bill, or got to your last bill and you paid it off, reward yourself. If you want a nice dress, ladies or men, you need a pair of shoes or whatever, go out and reward yourself for paying off that debt. But when you go buy something, pay for it in cash. You see what I'm saying? Don't get back into the debt again. Pay for it right there in cash. Or if you got a credit card bill, you use it, make sure you can pay for it at the end of the month. When that bill comes, you can pay for it. Pay it off. You can reward yourself. Or if you want to go out to dinner or go out to the theater or something like that, pay it off at the end of the month if you want to do it that way and you got the money in the bank. If you got a credit card, make sure that you have that money in the bank to cover that expense. So when that bill comes, don't pay $10. Don't pay the minimum, because the interest rate is building up on that. Every time you pay the minimum or a little over the minimum, you still paying interest on that money that you borrowed. You see what I'm saying? So make sure the money's in the bank, and then when that bill comes, write the check, send it off, it's all paid for, and you don't pay no interest. Same as 30, 60, 90 days cash. However way you do it, but make sure you have the money to do it. All right? All right. Don't cheat on the envelope. Make sure whatever I just told you, make sure whatever money's in there, you use it for those specific things that you need it for that particular month. Gasoline, clothes, it could be for the children. They may do an extra activity after school because schools get ready to get back in. They may need this, may need that, or whatever. Don't touch your emergency fund. That's only for extreme emergencies. You got your envelope system, or you want to do your zero-based budgeting, all right? You have your list of your expenses. You got a list of your income, and you work off of that and make sure the extra money that you have, you assign it a destination where to go to make your budget come down to zero, and all the money is accounted for. All right, because if it's not accounted for, then you're going to use that money unwisely, and you're going to put yourself in a situation again where you're in debt, and then you're going to be in debt to the lender where you borrowed that money from. All right, we're getting ready to close this out. Wow, this has been good. The last one, we got two more to go, and we're gonna finish this out. You have to learn how to save and invest. Save and invest. So first, we got to get out of debt, live beneath your means, right? Create a budget. 4, save and invest. All right. You can't out earn stupidly. You can't out earn being stupid. You got to learn how to be wise. It's important to save money in several different ways. Number 1, save for an emergency fund. We talked about that. $1,000 in a savings account. Once you pay yourself out of debt, don't start that $1,000 until you get yourself out of debt. Once you get out of debt and the money that you have been putting into those bills, say for instance, you was kicking out $300 a month. All right, say you was kicking out $300 a month in your credit card. Take that $300 and start putting it in towards your emergency fund until you get $1,000. Then we're going to assign the other money to investments. You see what I'm saying? You see how it works? How we are assigning the money where it can go so it can work for us? This is where your money starts working for you. But you got to get around people that are wise and counsel to help you to navigate where your money can do the best for you and what your goals are for you and your family. Everybody's situation is going to be different because everybody has different goals, all right? But you need to get with somebody and sit down with them so they can help you to navigate where the money should be allotted, so you can let that money work for you over 5, 10, 15 years, so that money can work for you, and then something comes up that you need to get something or buy something once the money, the interest is accrued over 10 or 15 years, and you want to go out and buy a brand new car for your daughter or son graduating high school, go out and buy cash. Because the money is already there, it has accrued interest. You got the cash, go out and pay cash, there's no debt. You ain't gotta buy you ain't gotta buy a new car. Go out and, like I said, go out and buy a car that's 2 or 3 years old, buy the car, give it to them. Bam. That's how you roll. Alright? This will become Murphy's repellent. Talk about an emergency fund. Alright? 2, Save up and pay for save up and pay for cash for things. We just talked about that. If you got cash, pay for it in cash. All right, pay for it in cash. Don't put yourself in this position. And you say why? You spend less when you use cash. That's right, because there's no interest on it. But like I said, there's